Yo, welcome to Meelypops. And are we going to have some fun these next 5 weeks as we start our first in a 5-part series on the National Sports Collectors Convention? Yo, so it's that time of the year, the end of July, the epicenter of the summer, and the lack of restriction, right? I mean, making my hat look crazy because that's how I feel about it. In terms of we can gather safely, I believe, in the end of July in Chicago, Illinois, and all collectors alike can bask in the National. So this is the first of a 5-part series leading up to the National with me, Jameel. I am the owner of the Meelypops Shop here in Gainesville, Florida. And as you know, we do this thing called Meelypops. This is episode 38 and 39, 40, 41, and 42 will also be about the National. So, hey, we got you covered. Your boys got you covered. It's a little history about me. I've done the National since 2015 when it was in Chicago, the very first one that I did. But the National in general, it goes back much farther. It actually started in 1980. So if you want some history about the National, and let me get this straight before we get going. Let me throw my finger up. It's not the Nationals. It's the National. There's only one National. There's no plural, okay? It's the National. And it is really the mecca of all card memorabilia, grading. Everything you want is what the National is. And I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a really, really, really cool event. And I'm stoked to get into these episodes with you. So if you want to know a little bit about this one, it's going to be July 28th to August 1st in Chicago, Illinois. And I would venture to say, if you're a dealer, it's definitely not July 28th. It's July 26th or the 27th because of all of the other things that are going on in early setup day and whatnot. But it's coming up. The venue is quite large. It's this big room in Rosemont, Illinois, right outside of Chicago. And it'll be here before you know it. We are 33 days or 32 days before it, something like that. Don't quote me on it. I'll go back and look. But I'm excited. If you don't know, you've never been, you should go. You should start making plans for this. The National, in terms of historical side, the very first one was in, I believe, L.A. in a hotel. And then it went to Michigan that was 1980. Then it went to Michigan in 1981. And now it's become really synonymous with the show. And I remember in 2010 when I had first kind of really gotten serious back into cards again, people talking about the National from a standpoint of you just got to go. You just have to experience what the card market looks like on a grand national scale. But granted, that was in 2010. 2012 rolled around, 13 I started looking into it, 14 I was like, you know what, I'm going to make my play, and then 2015 sign up, went to the Chicago National. First National I had been to. It is everything that you think it is and more. It is by far one of the marquee events in terms of quality. It is by far the marquee event in terms of marketplace. Right? I mean, you're seeing a little bit of that at the Dallas card show. You're seeing a little element of that with some of these other card shows that are coming up across the nation. Shout out to Collectors Con. Check us out at collectors-con.com. We are hosting a massive thing coming up in Tampa Convention Center in Labor Day weekend. But as we grow into this, okay, and we see the National has always been the blueprint, right? It has always been what is by far the card show that stands out above the rest. And everyone has tried to mimic it. Everyone has tried to come up with other elements of the National, make it look like the National, talk about it, compare to it, but you just can't. So this week is really an international event. It's not just a national event. I would love to call it the International. And the reason why I say that is we have so many awesome collectors and people across this globe who come to this event. Now, I don't know how it's all going to be with restrictions. I don't know how it's going to pan out this year. I don't know what's going to happen from the corporate side with Panini and Topps and Upper Deck. I heard Upper Deck's not coming. but it's still going to have the most important element, which is the people, and it's just going to be awesome. So going back to some history, you had started in the 1980s and really just grew and grew and grew and grew, and really the last 5 to 10 years I think has really just seen record numbers in terms of attendance, in terms of the quality of guests, in terms of the vendors, in terms of the corporate sponsors that do show up to this event. I'm excited. I know a lot of people are. Some people might ask, what is going to be there? What are you going to see at the National? And I'm not going to get into the selling standpoint because that's going to be a whole other episode that we do for this. But the answer to that question about what is the National has always been the same answer. And you're going to laugh, but it's everything. And I kid you not, if you can't find it at the National, you're probably not going to find it elsewhere. If you've already done the scouring on eBay and whatnot, you're probably not going to find it. But the National, I've seen just such an eclectic mix of so many unique pieces of memorabilia, autographs, collectibles, and of course, sports cards. And now I would even venture to say gaming cards, Pokemon, things of that nature as you get into that, fringe sports, non-sports. The trading card world dominates the National. It's such a cool experience to really submerge yourself in the amount of stuff that is there. And you realize that you're a part of that, right? The buying, the selling, the trading, which is so cool. What I've noticed in the last couple of years is the National has not just been a show during the day and then everybody goes to go see a Cubs game or a White Sox game, goes to a casino, whatever. That's not the National anymore. The National is everything around the show and the after show. I know there will be trade nights. I know Aaron is organizing something really cool with SlabStox right now. I don't want to say anything, but I know he's planning something. There are distributions, so GTS, Southern, Peach, those companies that sell the wax, they have parties for all the shops and distributors and people that buy from those accounts. I know that there's usually the Panini VIP night. Tops has something as well. We'll see what happens this year with all that. But there's just a lot of other moving parts aside from the National and what it represents. So we as a shop will be coming, we'll be attending. We go there to sell pretty much everything. We have a great time. And hopefully this is more of an intro episode for those people who don't know about the National. But as you grow and as you learn the history behind it, what it is and what you're going to see there. And then also, I guess the question is what it's like. I think this question, what it's like being there, and how many days do I need to be there? How do I plan my trip? I would just say be there every day if you can. Be there as many days as you possibly can to not just take it in, because if you've never gone before, it will be overwhelming. And just take that into account. When you go there, it will be overwhelming because there will be so much going on. So many cards, so many vendors, all these schedule things happening inside it. Famous people you might see walking around. Bill Simmons over there one year. Mike Tyson one year I see walking around. Rick from Pawn Stars one year. I bump into him at the PSA line. Who were some other people that we've seen before? A-Rod comes to do a signing. He brings J-Lo with him one year. So there's just a lot of elements of surprise. You have no idea who's going to show up. And then, of course, the cards. It used to be $50,000 cards, $100,000 cards were the big thing. Now it's $1 million cards at people's tables. It'd be crazy to even think you could have be at a table and see $1 million worth of cards. Now, because of the card boom, it's crazy to think that you won't see $1 million worth of cards at a table. You're going to be seeing multi-million dollars and $10 million cards. And I'm not talking about Golden, and I'm not talking about the big ones. I'm talking about just people who bring their stuff out. So I love it. I love for the fact that you're going to be there. You're going to embrace the hobby for what it is. It will be overwhelming. You will not be able to catch everything, but you'll be a part of it. If you're someone who likes action in terms of going out and being a part of something, the National is for you. I'd say you are the number one person to be going to this event, so make sure you get your tickets. If you are somebody who is a little skeptical and you're unsure about dealing with people with maybe selling and trading, I'll say this. There are 400, 500, 600 probably vendors there on top of all the people walking around, trading and hanging out. You will be fine. Trust me, there will be people there you will vibe with. Whether you're an introvert, extrovert, in between, whether you are a high-end collector, low-end collector, mid-end collector, in between, whether you're memorabilia, sports cards, autographs, in between, there is everybody there. And the cool thing is, I've seen And I'll get into this more, but as you're in lines and as you're spending time there, talk to people. I mean, you just get to really learn and see just where the hobby is. I've learned so much from people at the National, made so many friends, people that I met for the first time at the National, and I'm excited to just kind of see as the hobby grows, those cultivating of relationships. Personally for me, first time that I met Aaron, right, from SlabStox, Aaron Nowak, is through the National, doing a pack wars with him. Go back and watch it in Chicago when I laid my claim to fame with my 1-0 win over him, and it's a fun way how that pack wars ended. But just giving you an example of the relationships that are made, how they are cultivated over the years, and I would say it's almost like the family reunion. Each year, as you grow and you go more and more and more, and you meet people, you're gonna have this reunion of people that you see. You're gonna have this reunion of people that you've gotten to know for so long, where you're going to be able to catch up, be able to go out to dinner, be able to trade some cards, sell some cards, give some cards, right? And it makes it really special. I love for the fact that we have this. I love the fact that we are all going to be there. I'll have some more information about Meelypops and how we'll be there. We'll be actually in the back of the National at booth 248 and 250. So when you guys get checking that out, I'll get some maps out and some intro and all that. But I guess the first thing I just want to tell you guys is just be excited for the time that is coming. There is a lot of stress, and there can be a lot of stressful elements to it. I would just encourage you to really enjoy it, embrace the fact that we have kind of our Disney World trip coming up, and it is scheduled, it is on play. There may be some subtle differences. The grading may not be the same. The booths may not be the same in terms of the corporate, but the hobby will be there. And I'm excited as much as many of you are. I can't wait to see some of you out there. Please stop by our booth. I'll say this for me, what it's like. The National is mass chaos for me because I am everywhere. I'm buying, selling, flipping. It's really what I love, deep down in my roots, the marketplace. Back in 2015, that was my test. I said to myself, can I go to the National and sell and buy? Well, within 5 hours, I had sold out my entire booth. Within another 12 hours, I had already bought out other guys' booths, and that inventory was back at my booth. And I was doing that constantly throughout the weekend. It was just a lot of fun. I lost my voice. I got sick. It was just me and my wife. We were overwhelmed, but it was such a cool experience, that first National in 2015. And I hope that many of you will have that same experience where you just enjoy it. You're overwhelmed by it, but in a good way, and you make some great friendships and meet a lot of people. So I'm looking forward to seeing this year's 2021 National in Chicago. Hopefully I give you a little bit of a background there. What we're going to do, these next 4 segments, I'm not going to tell you what they are, but they're going to be very vital, I think, to just, if you want some prep, some pregame, if you want some information as a first-time person, if you're going to be selling, if you're going to be buying, I'm going to be sharing a lot of that stuff, and hopefully it'll be some helpful information to you. One last thing before we finish out Meelypops episode 38. Meelypops Madness is this weekend, and we are doing a crazy sale with slabs and non-slab stuff on Sunday, June 27th at 8 p.m. We usually do Meelypops Madness on Saturdays, but we will be doing it on Sunday, right? The big monster truck rally. We'll have our sale on Sunday. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be worthwhile, I think, because we'll have stuff that you may want to pick up to take to the National to trade and sell, and maybe prospect on. A couple guys this week making some splashes, including a guy named Wander, right? Really cool to see, and also a guy named Trey Young, who's been showing out a little bit as well. So we'll have that for sale. We'll be doing our thing on Instagram, as you guys know how we've grown, and we love the community that is Meelypops and SlabStox, and just the family that is. So, all right, look forward to it. Hopefully this was helpful just as an intro episode about the National, but be tuned for the next 4 weeks. I'm going to lay it on you folks as somebody who's been there, done it, and wants to share it with you guys. Appreciate it. And until next time, see ya. It's National time, baby, 2021.